Yeah, so we back, man. Episode 5, man. Wet cement foes, man. From my couch to your house, you heard me? It's your boy Devin Silver, man. I'm back up in the joint, you know what I'm saying? This show is is presented to you by TS Clothing Company, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you feel me? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? MichaelLemieux.com, you feel me? We gonna get it together. We gonna get the links in the comments and all that. You know what I'm saying? But we just getting started. Uh, man, let's go over these over these games. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go over these games from yesterday, man. The Bills dominant over the Broncos. Broncos jumped out first 7-0, and then they didn't score no more. 31 unanswered for Buffalo. Real dominant performance. I thought it would be a closer game, more low scoring game. But Knicks couldn't get nothing else going on the road. Rookie quarterback under a lot of pressure all game. Running game really wasn't hitting like that, so they got whooped. Of course, I picked Buffalo, but like I said, I picked them in a close game. Then in the second game, I also picked this to be a close game when your boy, what's his name, Goddard, caught that touchdown on the sideline and went beast mode on Cuz down the sideline for Green Bay. Yeah, I knew it was over. I was like, yeah, they ain't it. Josh Jacobs did great though. He had a great game. He played good. He ran tough. But the rest of Green Bay offense, of course, they lost Dobbs. They lost. I can't think of the other guy's name. They got injured. They lost their top two receivers though, and you could tell like Jordan Love, he was really off. That might have been the worst I seen him play thus far. Maybe not the worst game he ever had, but the worst game I seen him have. You know what I'm saying? And so next week you get Detroit and Washington, and the winner of tonight's game, Minnesota, LA goes to Philly. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Minnesota, LA. LA got a lot to be playing for right now. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to pick against them, and it's hard to pick Minnesota after the performance they put forth against Detroit last week. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to pick them again on the road. The game not in Minnesota, so it's hard to say, oh, Minnesota gonna win. You know what I'm saying? On the road, they just look terrible on the road. Even though that was against a division opponent that knows them well, I just don't like the looks of it. You know what I'm saying? Going into the playoffs, you're supposed to be playing your best football, so laying a terrible game like that out to be your last game. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, both teams got great receiving cores. Jordan Addison and, of course, Double J, Justin Jefferson for Minnesota. Dynamic tandem. Justin Jefferson, arguably the best in the league. Sam Darnold had a great season. He just had a bad game last game. and I want to say this is his first playoff game right here that he about to play in, and it's just a whole nother animal. You know what I'm saying? Like Baker Mayfield, he had a great season. He threw like 35 plus touchdowns too. He did not look like that yesterday in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I thought the play calling for the Bucks is what made them lose the game. Even though they had some good play calls, they had some questionable play calls. Like I'm just talking about on that last drive when they was driving down trying to take the lead. They could have took the lead with a touchdown. They was down 3. And they end up tying the game, but they could have very easily scored a touchdown. And for some odd reason, like they just did not look at Mike Evans. Like once they, I mean, none on the drive because they came out and they got past midfield immediately. I think he might have got one catch on that drive, man. But if I'm making a drive to win the game at home, I'm going to my best guy, my veteran guy, my guy that's a Super Bowl champion. Like, they got some other young, talented pieces, but ain't none of them Mike Evans, man. You got to give that dude the ball. So, I thought they shot themselves in the foot on that last drive and settled for the field goal thinking that they could stop Jaden Daniels, but he too dynamic. He too dynamic to think it's just an all or nothing situation and you could stop him. You can't stop quarterbacks like that because they don't even have to throw the ball. He could drop back and see, oh, I got this with my legs and boom, and he out. You know what I'm saying? And they had did a good job the whole game spying on him, but it looked like at the end of the game they changed their defensive strategy for some odd reason, and he was able to put consecutive drives together and put points on the board, and that's why they lost. Uh, Tonight you got two different type quarterbacks. They more pocket passers. Well, they are pocket passers. Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford. And Stafford, he got a ring. You know what I'm saying? And that can't be discounted in a situation like this. Like being the champion, that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Having the experience of going and winning the championship, it means a lot. And I know they had to win a road playoff game on their way to the championship. But I think they started out like they had the home game, went on the road in the divisional round, and then hosted the NFC championship against the 49ers. And they beat us, I think, in overtime or something like that. But this is a tough one to call, man. With everything going on in LA, I'm looking for LA to play inspired football. I know the game in Arizona, uh, and not LA, but I'm pretty sure that people done had to relocate and all that anyway. So, you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a LA crowd. But LA games, LA home games, the road team be in there deep and heavy anyway. So Minnesota might have the home field advantage in this game too. You know what I'm saying? But Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, they present the same problems for Minnesota that uh, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison present for LA. So whoever run game do the best, that's who should win the game, man. I don't even think I picked on this game. Like yesterday, I picked the Bucks to win. That was the first one I done got wrong since I've been doing this show. You know what I'm saying? But when I did my bets yesterday, I picked the Commanders both times. I picked the Commanders against the spread, against that 3.5 point underdog spread, and then I picked them on the money line too to win that game, and of course I won on both of those. So you know, I don't know, man. I didn't make no bet on this game today. That's how close I think it is. But for the sake of the show, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make a pick, and I'm a roll with Minnesota, man. I ain't, I was hit last week because I picked them to win that game against Detroit, so I was hit, but they still 14-3. Two of those games they lost to the Lions, so I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick them because they've been the more consistent team all year. They've been playing better football all year. LA been up and down all year. The division as a whole, the NFC West, none of those teams was consistent all year. And of course, they was the most consistent, so they end up winning the division. But the division was just weak this year, and the North was strong this year, and so I look for the North to go ahead and get this win and keep two teams in the Final Four in the NFC. And then you'll be seeing Minnesota versus the Eagles next week, and Detroit versus Washington. So it'll be just the East versus the North, unless LA can do something about it. But like I said, man, I'm picking Minnesota to win by a touchdown, 34-27, something like that. You know what I'm saying? 35-28, something like that. 38-31. It's going to be a high scoring game because even though Sam Darnold played bad last week and, you know, couldn't convert a lot of their drives, the defense, I feel like, got exposed a little bit. And Sean McVay, being an offensive genius as a coach, he should be able to take advantage of Minnesota's defense the same way that Detroit was able to, even though they don't have that type of run game like Detroit does in LA, but they pass game is real good. And LA made the playoffs last year, and they lost a real close game to Detroit last year. So I feel like LA, they got experience. Of course, a lot of those guys over there was on the team when they won the Super Bowl not too long ago, and they gonna make it tough on Minnesota, but I think Minnesota will pull it out. I think Justin Jefferson and Minnesota offense gonna be a little bit too much. I feel like they running game is a little better than LA, and that's why I'm gonna give them the edge because they'll be able to run the game, run the ball, control the game a little bit, take the pressure off Sam Darnold, and shore up some of the stuff that showed last week and get the win. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I'm still burned by the Bucks losing that game because that was the first pick that I made that I missed. But outside of that, man, this your boy Devin Silver. You know what I'm saying? This from my couch to your house, and I'm up and I'm out. Holla at y'all.